There's two ways to think about this today. There's left arm down the line of the feet longer. There's right arm just not collapsing back, staying more out there. They're both going to get to the same spot.
Right.
Body's out in front and the hands are back here, and the golfer's like, well, if I kept going through, I'd miss it mile right. It's like being out in front of a baseball, right? Or out in front of a pitch. You're just going way out this way. At the top, I want to be here, then here. I call it braced, you guys. Right in here, boom, stable. It's moving back because you're turning your hip back,
Right.
but it's not straightening out.
So driver, the big thing is lifting. I try to get that extra power by getting a little extra with the backswing by lifting. With this, is it just, so the real feeling with the driver is that left shoulder, and it's just the same thing that we've been doing, but making sure I don't get that extra reach.
Here's what's funny. I think you did that almost too well, to the point where you literally just turned, huge, beautiful turn. I mean, Kev will get a couple face-ons this guy. I mean, this guy's loading that lower body, loading, and coiling his upper body as well as any golfer in the world. You just had your hands, and the club wasn't set enough, and the hands were just getting a little bit pinned behind you. You're doing the same thing, but just direct your hands a little bit more up the wall as opposed to just behind you, and then it's the same swing. But yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah, you want to minimize all extra arm swing at the top. You have. You absolutely have. I mean, that's just absolutely crushed. And that's one thing that I wanted the viewer to see from the face-on view. Look at that big body turn he makes, and notice how his arms don't have any extra runoff at the top. That's connection. Big body turn, short connected arm swing. It's been a motto at Porzak Golf since I started teaching. And I'm telling you right now, when this is done turning, these are done swinging. And he does a very good job of that. And today we're talking about just making sure the direction of his hands, his hand path, wasn't getting too deep in behind him, but just staying a little more out in front of the center of his body.
That's still behind me.
Yeah, a little bit there.
Yeah.
And one of the things you want to do, buddy, is the one thing I will tell you, that right elbow, remember we talk about that a lot, and this is just kind of bonus stuff on today. Well, if you think about it, if the elbow stays more in front of the right side of your body, well, hands will stay more out here. There's two ways to think about this today. There's left arm down the line of the feet longer. There's right arm just not collapsing back, staying more out there. They're both going to get to the same spot.
Right.
On the way down, though. More of the, as opposed to the pin it on the side, and then it kind of comes through late, right?
Okay.
That's something that you want to feel, like the right arm elbow accelerates in front of you.
Because when it doesn't, that's this.
Yeah, exactly right.
So it's here.
And by the way, I mean, I say this kind of assuming that our viewer knows this, because I've heard me talk so much, but somebody could just be tuning in. Why does the golfer flip? Well, their body's out in front, and the hands are back here, and the golfer's like, well, if I kept going through, I'd miss it mile right. It's like being out in front of a baseball, right? Or out in front of a pitch. You're just going way out this way. Now, only way to catch up, either stall this and let this go, right? And that's where a lot of the mistakes are made in golf. So what we're trying to feel here is making sure that he does not have that flip. How? Well, having his arms more in front of his body. That's the right elbow moving in front of the right side. You feel that?
Yeah.
That was perfect right there.
Yeah.
Perfect ball flight too.
Yeah.
That one's going to be great for the shot tracer, Kevin. I did not get in the way of that one. Yeah, that was a missile right there.
I love it.
Oh, that was absolutely roasted right there.
I tend to over-rotate early, and I get really, I over-rotate with my lower body.
Absolutely.
And that's how I get late. So I think that'll be a big thing too.
Connection in the golf swing is really built from the ground up. And what I mean by that, you guys, is this. Yes, connection is the club in front of the hands in front of the body. Club in front of hands in front of body. But where the pressure in your feet is at the given times that the club and the hands are in those spots. If I'm right here and the pressure's already back here, it's not going to be connected to the top. I want to be here, then here. So I was just showing Kevin and our audience a visual of how I learned the backswing and connection from the ground up.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Most people are what?
Yeah, they extend too early.
A lot of times what happens is People think connection, they think big body turn, they try to feel like their body takes their hands back. And what do we see? Lots of daylight between the legs when we're only halfway back, which that daylight between the legs tells me when we're halfway back, we've made a full turn, and it almost opens the door for everything to get lost behind us.
Yeah.
Keeping the right knee flexed a little bit longer, keeping the right knee just a little bit more, I call it braced, you guys. You know, right in here, boom, stable. It's moving back because you're turning your hip back,
Right.
but it's not straightening out.
Yeah.
And that right there, that straightening sometimes alleviates ground pressure. It also over-rotates the lower body, throws the sequence off from the ground up. Flexing, turning. The flex doesn't mean don't turn.
Yeah.
It means turn as much as you want. But you know what the flexing does? It'll allow the lower body to build up the turn.
Gotcha.
And it'll keep the hands actually out in front of the body more. Looking. Good. Same feeling with the right elbow coming down first here.
And with the brace too? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
I think the exact same stuff applies. Dude, so much better with the golf swing.
Yeah.
Such a better look.
That's pretty good, right?
Really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. That's what I mean,
Combination of ball and wind on that one.
Yeah.
Hit one more like that.
Yeah.
Hit a little cut here.
Well, you want the cut. All right.
And here's the thing. I'm just looking for it to hold straight.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. All right. A little up in the stance.
There it is. You gotta get it. That was the best swing of the day.
That's it.
Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in for the viewer real quick.
Yeah.
So now everybody can see the Western
these-
AMTs. Look at watch how classy these are.
These
Oh
things,
my god.
you got the metal,
Look at
the shield on the top.
the WGA, and it has the 1899 on there.
Yeah.
And then look at the wood, not the kind that marks up the driver, just classy,
Right.
with a nice green, gold, and white. Just so.
Yeah. First thing I went in, I just stockpiled the tees.
Yeah.
I swear to God. It was awesome.
No, and I'm gonna. And I never like to call it the USGA. USGA is brilliant, and I love the USGA tees.
Yeah.
It's nice, you know, to see the USGA on there. Something special about it. But they're white still.
I know,
And they're
I
painted
know.
white, and our drivers aren't white. And it just, you know, I mean, it doesn't matter if you hit in the center of the face all day. I still, it's a T mark on the driver.
Yeah, I know.
I hate
know.
it.
I feel it.
I just want to see bamboo tees come back, and I want to see, like, you know,
Yeah.
just a nice. And I don't like black tees either because it doesn't look classy. It's just
Yeah.
like nice
Hashtag
wood.
bring
but
the
doesn't-
bamboo
No
back.
paint.